You know what I mean? I wish Errol and his people's the best. You know what I mean? So why not support, listen, why not support your fighter? Support your fighter. You ain't got nothing wrong with that. Support your fighter. Y'all support y'all fighter. Let's come together, make this event a success.
I'd like to thank everybody coming out here and supporting. Make sure y'all order the fight on Showtime pay-per-view. I guarantee you I'm gonna put on a great show and a great...
Fans looking at each other like they accidentally walked into the wrong movie. The man nobody expected to see, the man who was supposed to be the rival, the obstacle, the final boss in the Errol Spence story, suddenly shows up and starts supporting Errol Spence like we're living in an alternate universe. And no, you are not imagining this. Because while
that fight can go if they do finally meet.
I think it's gonna be good. You know, I got a little wager bet, you know, for my boy Tszyu. You know, he got Tim, I got Errol. But I think it'd be a good fight for both of them this stage in their career.
And why are you confident that you win that bet with Tszyu? You know, why does Errol win the fight?
Well, I'm not, you know, 100% confident, you know. I just know, you know, the caliber of fighter that Errol is. You know, just like I know the caliber fighter of Tim. You know, I think both of them have taken a lot of damage in their career so far. But I just think, you know, Errol skill-wise.
Everyone thought the Tim Tszyu press conference would be about Tim Tszyu versus Errol Spence. The entire conversation got hijacked by one shocking appearance that had fans asking the same question. What is really going on behind the scenes? Because Terence Crawford didn't just appear. He appeared smiling. He appeared supportive. He appeared relaxed. And that's where the story starts getting weird. Really.
I'm glad to be back. You know, it's been a long time, 3-year layoff. And I'm sure everybody has their, you know, reserved opinions, thinking I'm a shell of myself or, you know, do we still have it? And, you know, it's just because I'll be thinking the same thing seeing my last fight. But I guarantee you, come July 26th, you will see a better, more improved Errol Spence. It was some time I had 3 years off, and I feel like it helped me mentally. It helped me physically, gave me some time to recover, and just enjoy life, enjoy the spoils of my wins, and just being with family, being with friends. If you watch my Instagram, you see me traveling, you know, enjoying my kids, having fun. And people kept asking me, are you coming back? When are you coming back? And I told them, I know when it's ready. I know when I'm ready to come back. And I knew one day that, you know, I'll wake up and I decide to come back. And if it didn't happen...
Weird. For years, boxing fans watched Crawford and Spence get built up as rivals. The debate never stopped. Who was better? Who was stronger? Who deserved the crown? The arguments were endless. The social media wars were brutal. The fan bases practically treated each other like opposing political parties. Then suddenly Crawford is standing there publicly supporting Spence. And fans
obviously, since Errol's been out 3 years, you've been in championship bouts, you've been in wars, you've been very active. Do you think Errol made a mistake by picking you in his comeback fight?
Yeah, it's definitely not recommended, you know, to go straight into the firing line. It would have been better to start off slowly, but, you know, on his caliber, he feels like he doesn't need tune-ups, which is fair enough. But yeah, it's going to be fireworks from that.
Online immediately started creating theories faster than a heavyweight throws a jab. Some fans are saying this is respect. Others are saying this is strategy. And then there are the people who think this entire situation is part of a much bigger story nobody is talking about. Because just when everybody expected bad blood, Crawford started praising Spence. Not criticizing him, not throwing shade, praising him. And that instantly changed the atmosphere. Suddenly
a lot of fortitude, a lot of discipline, a lot of focus. I think that, I know for sure Errol has that. Listen, why everybody got something to say? Everybody talking, you're not a fighter, you're a fighter.
Errol, you know, as I mentioned, Tim's been in championship bouts and whatnot over the last 3 years. You're obviously now with Ronnie Shields. The question I'm sure...
Rivalry looked different. Suddenly the narrative looked different. Suddenly, fans weren't talking about Tszyu anymore. They were talking about Crawford. Fake breaking news alert. The biggest winner of the Tim Tszyu press conference might have been the guy who wasn't even fighting. And if that sounds crazy, just wait, because then Crawford revealed something that made fans do a double take. He admitted he has been a fan of Errol Spence for years. Let that sink in. According to Crawford, he respected Spence dating all the way back to the amateur days.
People have is, 3 years with the layoff. How are you going to combat maybe the ring rust or the potential layoff as you prepare for this fight against Tim?
Ring rust is nothing but a mental thing. If you have a training camp and you look good in training camp, you look good in sparring, why can't you look good in the fight? That's a mental barrier you're talking about. And that's why people need tune-ups. Like, I feel like I don't need a tune-up because, the proof is in the pudding when you're in the gym. You know how you gonna fight once you're in the gym and when you train and when you sparring and working out and stuff. You know how you feel. So if I feel good in the training camp and I feel good in sparring, I'm gonna feel good in the fight. I'm mentally ready, physically ready up. I feel like me and Ronnie Shields have a great game plan. Ronnie Shields been through this numerous of times. So, we'll be 100% ready for anything that, he could.
Now, online speculation exploded immediately. Fans started asking if the rivalry was never as personal as people thought. Was the tension always exaggerated by the business side of boxing? Were fans fighting harder than the fighters themselves? And this is where it gets even stranger. Because while Crawford was talking about support and respect, Tim Tszyu was basically warning everybody that Errol Spence might have picked the worst possible comeback fight.
Because he's a real fighter. He's not a guy that talks a lot, but he brings a big stick to the battle. And when you deal with Errol Spence, you got to bring your lunch pail because he's going to bring it and he's nothing to play with. Obviously, being 36 years of age, being off as long as he hasn't had the tune-up fights. And by the way, I need my tune-up. Give me my tune-ups because boxing is hard. I need my tune-up because I need to sharpen my tools. I want to make another paycheck before I make the big paycheck, but that's just me. I need my tune-ups, but I respect this brother because he's not with the tune-up. And you got to know who you are. If Errol knows that I can't really get up for that guy, then I can only get up for these type of guys. You gotta know yourself. And Errol Spence knows himself. So the respect is always going to be there for him, and we will unpack this fight as we get closer, because it's not until July 25th, but I'm excited to see him back. I'm excited to see him.
3 years away from the ring. 3 years. That's enough time for careers to change, champions to rise, and entire divisions to look different. Yet Spence isn't easing back into action. He's diving straight into the deep end. And according to reports and fan reactions online, that's either incredibly brave or incredibly risky. There is apparently no middle ground.
It's okay.
That's because me and my facts, and I'm gonna keep it 100.
I'm a Spence fan.
I'm right.
Like, people always thought they thought I didn't like him and all that. I'm a Spence fan.
No,
like, when we the build up, I'm like, man, hey, let me get your autograph. You know what I mean? Because I watched you come up. I'm older than you, but I watched you, rooted for you when you was in the amateurs, when you was in the Olympics, all that, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you came when I fought in Dallas and Arlington. You was there watching me fight. You know what I mean? It's okay to say you a fan. You know what I mean? It's okay. Like, I was a fan of Spence. Like, I'm still a fan. I hope he do well and things like that. But, like, once it got to the point where I moved up.
But then Spence stepped up and delivered a message that completely flipped the conversation. Instead of sounding concerned about the layoff, he sounded refreshed, relaxed, almost suspiciously confident. He talked about enjoying life, spending time with family, traveling, and resetting mentally. Now, normally that sounds positive.
But much love to show you. Are you just used to expect respect, like kind of that moment, you know?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I was always brought up to show some sort of respect to your opponent.
Yeah.
That's all right. It is how it is.
Yeah.
And, doesn't change anything.
Are you surprised he didn't shake your hand?
I don't know. I don't know what I was doing, but it's all right. It's
now
all
you're
right.
mad
now,
at yourself. You're not even mad at him. You're mad at yourself.
Now I see how it is. You know.
Are you mad at him or are you mad at yourself?
No. I'm always.
You're just mad at.
I'm all right. I'm all right. You know, like
That's just how I was brought up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine.
Fans immediately started debating whether that confidence is a secret weapon or a dangerous illusion. Because here's the thing nobody can agree on. Is Errol Spence returning stronger than ever? Or is everybody falling for the perfect comeback storyline? And before anyone could answer that question, another twist arrived. Spence basically brushed off the entire concept of ring rust, just dismissed it. According to him, if you're performing in training camp, you'll perform in the fight. Simple. Easy. End of discussion. Except fans didn't exactly agree. Social media instantly became a battlefield. One side...
What did you make of those comments?
I don't know the backstory to it.
We tried to shake his hand, I think. Tim tried to shake.
And Errol didn't shake his hand. Yeah. They're going to fight anyway. Who gives a
Those sort of big fights, you want to be in some of those in the future as well? Sort of big
I guess so.
Claimed Spence was speaking like a future winner. The other side claimed he was underestimating the challenge ahead. And somewhere in the middle, Tim Tszyu was probably watching all this unfold thinking, good, keep talking. Because while everybody else was discussing psychology, Tszyu kept repeating the same message. Fireworks, action, pressure, chaos. The kind of fight where one mistake changes everything. Then came another surprise appearance. Derek James, the former trainer, the familiar face.
Just last one before I let you go, a man that you have obviously fought, there was reports last night that apparently he'll be returning in the summer, Errol Spence Jr versus Tim Tszyu. I mean, what do you make of that return? Obviously 3 years at the ring for himself, just what do you make of his return?
You know, I'm excited as well, you know, I wish that I would have fought, you know, him back in the day, you know, but, you know, it's exciting. I met Tim Tszyu when I was in Australia, and it'll be interesting to see them two meet and lock on, so, you know, I'll be watching that, and I'll be excited to see, you know, the winners. You know, you never know, you know.
The reminder of an era many boxing fans still remember. Suddenly the comeback story got another emotional layer. Suddenly this wasn't just about a fight anymore. It became about history, loyalty, relationships, reinvention, and every new detail made the storyline feel bigger. Fake breaking news alert. This press conference may have accidentally become the launch trailer for one of boxing's most dramatic comeback stories. But wait.
What does Tim have to do to be successful, and then what does Tim have to do to be successful?
Tim got to come out and be aggressive with a jab and not getting caught up in little arguments where they going back and forth with each other. You know, if they sitting there trading back and forth, they either one of them got a shot. But whoever's being a little bit smarter than the other, I think has a chance. I think that's how this fight goes. I don't think Errol Spence just going there and just bully Tim Tszyu. But I think it'll be spots where he can play bully. I don't think Tim Tszyu could go in there and just do what he wants to Errol, but it's going to be spots he can get off. You know?
Because then Andre Ward entered the conversation and somehow managed to increase the pressure even more. Ward openly respected Spence for skipping a tune-up fight. And that statement landed like a thunderbolt. Why? Because most fighters take safer routes. Most fighters test themselves first. Most fighters don't jump straight into danger after years away. Yet Spence is doing exactly that. Which raises a terrifying question. What if he's right? What if everybody doubting him is about to look completely foolish? But then another narrative appeared from the shadows, the handshake moment.
Tim Tszyu, Errol Spence, press conference today, mate. Yeah. Your reaction to I guess the press today, a few heated moments up there.
Oh, look, it's the spice we want. Magnificent. I mean, I think this is going to be one of the biggest fights in Australian boxing history. I mean, we've seen some wonderful bouts in Australia. Of course, we saw Nelson, Jeff Fennick. Then, of course, Jeff Horn and Manny Pacquiao, July 2, 2017, nearly 10 years ago now. Time's flown. And of course, Devin Haney and Cambosis, the Quinella there in Melbourne in 2022. So this is going to be right up there with them. I think it could potentially be promotionally bigger than all of them. I think it's a beautiful crossroads fight. You've got two guys who seemingly are finished in the eyes of some. I mean, Tim, people think he's on the wane. And we haven't seen Errol Spence for 3 years in the ring, 1,009 days to be exact. So, look, that raises real question marks. At age 36, is the truth no longer the truth? And look, I think it's the moment of truth for Tim. I think if Tim loses this fight, it's over for me.
More specifically, the missing handshake. Suddenly, a simple interaction became a headline. Fans dissected it. Analysts debated it. Comment sections turned into detective agencies. Did it mean something? Did it mean nothing? Was it intentional? Was it accidental? Nobody could agree, but one thing was certain. The rivalry suddenly felt more personal, more intense, more unpredictable. And that was before boxing insiders started calling this a crossroads fight. Because according to many observers, both men are fighting for more than a win. They're fighting for momentum, reputation, future opportunities, maybe even legacy.
Spence is bigger than him. Spence is willing to punch with him. Yeah, and you know that, man. Tim Tszyu don't move his damn head for nothing in the world. And he got it whooped by a southpaw. And
the pressure isn't sitting on one side of the ring, it's sitting on both. And that's what makes this entire situation feel explosive. One fighter is trying to prove he still belongs at the elite level. The other is trying to prove he never left. That's not just a fight, that's a collision course. And then came the comments from Timothy Bradley, which somehow turned the temperature up even higher. Bradley didn't sound concerned about inactivity, not at all. In fact, he sounded convinced that Spence remains dangerous, extremely dangerous. He called him a future Hall of Famer. He praised his experience. He praised his mentality. He praised his ability to overcome adversity.
I know y'all gonna be like, man, well, it's a lot of inactivity, Tim. A lot of inactivity. Shit, when you elite and you working and you sacrificing and you running and you training and you weight training and you doing what you need to do to get ready, you know, the time don't damn matter. Because guess what? The miles are already in it. The experience is already in it. There's a lot of character in this damn car that's being restored. A lot of character in Spence. And the last time he was in the ring, he showed his character. Yeah. So, shit. Hey, if y'all want to discount Spence or disqualify his abilities on just inactivity, go ahead. I'm not. Hell no, I'm not. No, I know what type of beast he is. Spence is the damn beast, a future Hall of Famer.
And immediately, fans split into two camps again. One group saw Bradley's comments as confirmation that Spence is being underestimated. The other group saw them as nostalgia clouding judgment. But here's where the story takes its biggest twist. The more people talk about Spence versus Tszyu, the more another name keeps sneaking back into the conversation. Crawford, Crawford, Crawford. Think about it. A press conference for one fight somehow turned into a discussion about another fighter entirely. Every headline circles back. Every debate circles back. Every theory circles back. Fans online are now speculating that Crawford's appearance changed the emotional balance of the entire event, not because of what he did, but because of what it represented. Respect, closure, evolution, or maybe something else entirely. Because some fans are now asking a wild question. What if the real story was never about rivalry? What if the biggest shock isn't that Crawford supports Spence? What if the biggest shock is that boxing fans spent years believing a narrative that was far simpler than reality? Allegedly, according to fan speculation, the fighters may have understood each other better than their supporters ever did. And if that's true, then everything starts looking different. The rivalries, the interviews, the tension, the debates, suddenly the lines blur. Suddenly the heroes and villains disappear. Suddenly the entire boxing world looks like one giant chessboard where everybody was focused on the wrong pieces. And that brings us to the final twist nobody saw coming. What if Crawford showing up wasn't the story? What if Spence returning wasn't the story? What if Tszyu being dangerous wasn't even the story? What if the real story is that boxing is entering a new chapter where old rivalries are turning into respect, comeback stories are colliding with redemption arcs, and every assumption fans made over the past few years is being challenged in real time? Because right now, nobody knows how this fight ends. Nobody knows whether Spence shocks the world. Nobody knows whether Tszyu silences the doubters. Nobody knows whether Crawford's prediction comes true, but one thing is certain. The moment Crawford walked into that press conference, the narrative changed forever. And now the question isn't just who wins the fight. The question is whether we've all been watching the wrong story the entire time.